Hi, this is Kelly Savage with Butterfly Thoughts Podcast. Today I want to talk about something I was reflecting on during my walk with God this morning. A true turning point. And I say true because I believe we can have many turning points in our lives. Those aha moments, those moments that really make us think and say that we're gonna change. Some don't last though, just to be honest. But some are big, some are quiet, some are obvious to everyone around us, and some may only be known between us and God. But they all matter. A turning point can mean different things. It can feel like we're turning over a new leaf. It can feel like standing at a fork in the road and realizing you have to choose which direction you're going to go. It can feel like finally saying, I'm tired of this. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm not doing this the same way anymore. Sometimes it sounds like nothing changes if nothing changes. And then something inside of us says, so it changes here. It changes now. It's mine to take, and it's mine to walk out. That is a true turning point. Not because someone forced us into it, not because our spouse told us to change it, not because our child begged us to see something differently, not because a boss or a friend or another person pointed it out. Those things may plant seeds. They actually may confirm things too. They may open our eyes, and they may be part of what God uses. But a true turning point, now that's personal. We own it. It happens when something deep in our own heart, mind, and spirit recognizes, kind of like all at the same time. And it ultimately ends up with us saying it does not have to be this way anymore. And I believe those moments are holy. Because when we reach that place, that real, honest, personal place, God can move. And sometimes He moves fast, but not always. Now, we often hear the phrase rock bottom. We hear when someone is stuck in a pattern, or their life keeps moving in ways that are painful or destructive, even to themselves, but also to others. People may say they may have to hit their rock bottom before they change. And there is some truth to that, because sometimes no matter what anyone says or does, if the person is not ready, they're not ready. In fact, sometimes pushing harder makes them dig in deeper. It can stir up pride, stubbornness, resistance, fear, and all kinds of emotions. And that is why we need to trust Jesus. We need to trust His timing. We need to trust His word. We need to trust the Holy Spirit to be the Holy Spirit. And that can be hard, especially when we're watching someone or something unfold that does not look good. When we are seeing devastation, when we are seeing hurt, when we are seeing choices that keeps on breaking hearts. Sometimes we may look at God and say, how in the world can anything good come from this? Because from where we stand with our human eyes, our human hearts, our finite minds, it does not look good, and certainly doesn't feel good. But God sees what we cannot see. He knows what we cannot know. He can make understanding out of a mess. He can make a testimony out of a test. He can take what feels crooked and broken and painful and somehow in His way and in His timing bring purpose from it. Romans 8:28 reminds us that God works all things together for the good of those who love Him and are called according to His purpose. That does not mean every situation is good and rosy. That does not mean every ending looks the way we prayed for it. That does not mean we always understand it on this side of heaven. But it does mean God is still God in the middle of it. And He still works. So when we come to our own turning points, we need to pay attention. Do not glance over those thoughts. Do not dismiss the moment when something inside of you says, this needs to change. I had one of those moments recently. I was walking and something came up in my mind. It was not something huge on the outside. It was not some massive life crisis or a huge problem that I had been facing. But it was something I had seen pop up time and time again throughout my life. A mindset, a pattern, something that if I let it could make me hesitate. It could make me not try. It could make me pull back from something God may be asking me to step into and fully embrace. It could make me shrink back from purpose, His purpose. And I'm still working it out with God. I'm still processing it. But in that moment, I realized something. This is a turning point. For me, it's mine. This is one of those moments where I can either keep walking with that same mindset, or I can hand it to God and say, no, it doesn't have to be this way anymore. Thank you for showing it to me. Now help me, Lord. And I think that is where change truly begins. Not always with a huge announcement, not always with a perfect plan, certainly not always with an eloquent prayer. Sometimes it begins with a simple, honest cry from the core of who we are. Come, Lord, I'm ready. That may be the whole prayer. Come, Lord, I'm ready. Change this thought, change my mindset, change this pattern. I see it now, and I do not want to keep carrying it. I give it to you. Sometimes we think prayer has to be polished a certain way, a certain length, a certain place. We think it has to sound a certain way, maybe a certain posture, and with the most perfect words. But a turning point prayer can happen anywhere. On a walk, in a car, at the kitchen sink, in the middle of tears, in the quiet before anyone else is awake. In the moment you finally realize, God, I cannot take this anymore. I can't keep doing this the same way. That is prayer. That's surrender. That's invitation for Him. And when we invite God into that moment, we are not just trying harder in our own strength. We are yielding. We are saying, Lord, I see this. I need you here. I need your wisdom. I need your strength. I need your Spirit to lead me. And then we follow Him step by step. That matters because a turning point is not just a feeling. It's not just a thought. It is not just a burst of that motivation. A true turning point that's ours becomes a place of pure surrender. It becomes a place where we say, God, I'm willing. I'm willing to see it differently, think differently, respond differently. I'm willing to let it go. I'm willing to try and obey and trust. And that is where something can shift. Sometimes God shifts our thoughts, our directions, our desires, our courage. Sometimes He transplants something in us that needed to be rooted in Him all along. And sometimes the outside does not change immediately, but the inside does. And that is still a miracle. Because when God changes something inside of us, everything we carry forward changes too. So today I want to gently ask you, have you had one of those thoughts lately? One of those quiet, deep down moments where you knew this does not have to be this way anymore. Maybe it is a mindset. Maybe it's a fear, a bitterness. Maybe it's a habit. Maybe it's a way you keep talking to yourself about yourself. Maybe it's a hesitation that keeps holding you back. Maybe it's something God has been gently bringing to the surface again and again. Do not ignore it. Do not glance over it. Bring it to Him. And maybe your prayer today is simple. Come, Lord, I'm ready. Not perfect, not fully confident, not knowing every next step, because you won't, but ready enough to invite Him in, ready enough to yield, ready enough to say, I do not want to stay here if you're calling me forward. Because a true turning point is not just where we decide to change. It is where we let God lead that change. And with Him, step by step, thought by thought, choice by choice, we can turn. We can grow, we can move forward, and we can trust that He's working, even when we don't fully understand how. So whatever we call it, a turning point, a new leaf, a fork in the road, the why in the road, a rock bottom moment, a holy pause, a butterfly thought, let us not waste it. Let us yield into it. Let us invite God into it. And let us say from the heart, come, Lord, I am ready. So today, pause, reflect, choose. Thanks for listening. Download the companion resource and let's grow together.